Good evening and welcome to the Simply Colorful FiberCast. Today's date is September 16th, 2016. My name is Lynn and I'm your host, and we have so much to talk about today. Surprise! The mystery is unfolding in front of us, and thank you for all of you for coming along for the ride. I hope that you are kind of excited about what you saw this morning and not overwhelmed. I told you this is a doozy. So, I have lots to bring you up to speed on with the Mystery Quilt tonight and also with the Marathon Quilters Quilt Guild Quilt Show. They have it every other year. I just have come back from the opening and oh my, it's better than it's ever been. Between the quilts hanging from Kevlar string and carabiners from the rafters of the brand new Cultural Arts Alliance building here in our town to there must be 100 raffle baskets. I'm not kidding. And lots of other things too. So I'll be back there all day tomorrow actually with a booth, and I'll be taking lots of pictures to share with you. But let's talk mystery for all of our quilters. For anyone who might not have seen the mystery so far, go to simplycolorful.com and you'll see it's called the Brown Bag Mystery. We're on week 3, clue 3. So let's recap where we've been, and then we'll just jump into clue 3, which I do realize was 10 pages long. And I want to hear from you. So send mail to lmarquidant@gmail.com, text me, or lynn@simplycolorful.com, and show me your progress. And we'll show everyone the progress. So in week 1, we picked our colors, and we looked at value, and we put them on our swatch sheet. So I hope everyone still has access to that, and we will continue to refer to it. Then on week 2, we made 32 of these economy squares. Are yours done? Mine are done. And we made them, they're the same except for in the corners we had different colors. I have taken the papers off mine, just FYI. I'm curious if other people have left theirs on. It's up to you. There are going to be a lot of little pieces, so maybe you want to keep your papers on to give the whole piece stability, but it's up to you. I'm taking them off at this point. So that was last week. And again, if you're not caught up, no problem. The clue is on simplycolorful.com or it's on the Facebook Mystery Quilt Along page. One thing to note, there is the clue and then there's also the PDF that actually has the paper piece. So it's 2 separate files. I'm sorry if there were any questions about that, and I know some folks had a hard time finding that second file. So, and then you saw, so that was last week, and now we're on to clue 3, which is, and I'm using Ziploc bags, by the way. These are going to be our friend for this quilt. For this week's clue, you'll notice I think there were 4 files. So make sure not only to print out the clue, but also the other files. And we'll go through them all now. It's exciting. You don't know how much this fabric has been sitting in brown bags, and I've wanted to show you. Isn't it cool? That's the Hoffman Supernova. And it starts light in the middle and it goes dark. And I'm so pleased to hear people receive theirs. People have either received their Onyx, O-N-Y-X, Onyx, or Ombre, which is a little bit more yellow in the light. Let me put our clues away. Let me clear up. I want to hear from you if you're out there. I posted this clue at, what was it, Marquet? 2:30, 2:45 this morning. And don't you know, Marquet was online. Donna was online. In fact, Donna, thank you. Donna caught a errant second page that I had posted with a clue. So I immediately took that down. So thank you. In the middle of the night, who knew? That's our community, right? Okay, clue 3. So where to begin? I guess at the first page. There are some things that we're going to need for this clue before we even get started sewing or cutting. There's a lot of cutting in this clue. safety pins. The littler the better. So these are 1 inch, I think. I got them at Joann's. They're good sturdy ones, so they're not like 1/2 inch. Those really, but those would work too. You need the printout of this, which are literally, and we'll get to this again, but literally have the numbers that we're going to pin onto our panel of fabric after we draw with the templates on it. And we're never going to take them out until the whole quilt is assembled. That's key. Okay? So we need safety pins. Make sure you get those. We're going to need access to a printer. And we also, this is optional, but if you have it, it's great, is some of these Avery self-adhesive laminating sheets, because we're going to make templates, 2 triangles and 4 squares that we need to trace onto this panel. And if we have these, I'll show you when it's laminated, it's much easier to trace around. Now, a note about tracing around it, and I think I'll say this again, it doesn't have to be perfect, and if anything, cut outside what you trace. So it's really important to include the seam allowance on these templates. And I noticed when I printed my templates out, a couple of them did not print the seam allowance. So let's go over that next. Let's see. Let's make sure I've gotten everything. So you're going to need laminating sheets, pins, a printer, scissors, a big space to lay out your panel. Okay. Oh, pencils, colored pencils, a light colored pencil and a dark colored pencil. Because when we put the template on the panel, in the middle of the panel where it's light, a dark marker works well. But then out toward the edges, when you put the template on, you'll want to use a very light or white. I used yellow marker. You will need a hand sewing needle and thread for the last part when we get into the block, but don't even think about that now. We have to cut the panel. I bet you thought the cutting of the panel was all we were going to do this week. It was, and then I thought, here's what I was thinking is, I guess it was selfish, but I did want everyone to not lose a beat. I am heading to Orlando Sunday morning, and I won't be back until Thursday. So on Friday, we will be doing something that, why did I do this? I think maybe next week's clue won't be quite so strenuous because I won't have a lot of time to prepare because I'll be away until next Thursday. So I wanted to get this weather vane block that we're going to go over in your hands so that for the next 2 weeks you could be working on it in the background, if that makes sense, because there is hand sewing. So that's why I put it in this week. Okay, so I think that's why. It doesn't really make sense if I had it done. We could have done it next week, but I just didn't want, I didn't want everyone to get gung-ho and cut out their panel tonight or tomorrow. And then what? So I wanted you to be able to use some of the pieces you cut out of the panel. That's what it was for the weather vane. Okay. So it's going to be important. There are ultimately 85 pieces that we need to fit on this panel. And there's a trick that I found worked well when piecing it. So if we go to page 2, let's first talk about the templates. And this is where this is really important. On the file that I posted, a couple of the squares weren't printing out the seam allowance. So I want to make sure you don't cut the squares too small. And I noted it on the pattern. We have WV. We need a template. See how I laminated these? Actually, let me pull up the file itself. My printout of it anyway. Oh, here it is. Put it in the Ziploc bag where it was supposed to be. Okay. This file is called the Brown Bag SuperNova template.pdf. This is the one you want to print first. And it will have 6 pages, and on each page it has the template. Now what I was saying is some of these templates, the double edge did not print, so I drew that in. So what I want everyone to make sure is that on all 6 templates you have the double edge. If you don't, add that in. And it shows up online just fine, it just doesn't print out. So then you print out your file, brown bag supernova template.pdf, and then you're going to literally laminate one of these. And I want to show you a trick with laminating. And you may know this, but this lamination product is really cool. So I'm going to pull out 2 pieces. And if you wanted to save on your lamination, you could cut the sheets out first. In fact, I'm going to do that. Let's not be wasteful. So here's my DIA template. I'm cutting that one out. And then let's do my SS template. Let's just do those 2. So literally what you do is with one of these, you peel off. And do this in a relatively clean spot with no animals or animal hair. Although really, even if you got animal hair on this, it would be fine. Okay, so there they are on the sticky piece. Now we have to put the other piece on top. Without the heat machine, it's just a sticky piece. This is the trick. When I pull this off, peel off, I want to keep it rounded and then literally start putting it on rounded. And that way you don't get a crease. Let's see if I can do what I'm suggesting here. See that? Now, I'm going to round it up like that, and then sort of starting in the middle, scooch it down that way, and then scooch it down that way, and it goes flat. There might be a few little bubbles, but you just squeeze them out. And it really is a quilter's good best friend, because now, for old-fashioned template drawing, right? Where were these when we were kids? I can remember cutting out cereal box, or the fronts of cereal boxes, and making templates out of them. And that worked pretty well, actually. Oh, I have so much to show you. I'm so excited that you get to see this now. And there you go. And there is a laminated template that for some of these, as we're going to see, we need to trace around many times on our panel. So that's the lamination. Okay. So do that on page 2 so that you end up with 2 sets of triangles and 4 squares. Then go to page 3, the layout plan. This is a plan that corresponds with your numbers and your designations. And I might as well just say the blocks. So the mystery, anyway, I won't say any more, but they are called these blocks. So WV is weather vane, SS is storm at sea, we all know what that one is. DIA is diamond in a square, Echo is economy, and then you saw the triangles. So print out okay, so print out your layout and then lay out your panel. And I'm not going to show it here because it's in the picture, but basically if you go to the next page, page 4, what I want you to do is trace these big triangles around the edge first. So literally this A triangle, trace one on each corner of your panel. And then this B triangle, put 5 across each side and fit them in, and they will fit. Keep them as far as you can out to the edge of your panel. Then go to your WV, your number 1 here, and in the middle of your panel there's going to be the very center of the supernova. It's going to be the lightest, whitest part. Put the middle of this WV template right on top and trace it. Then, I'm trying to remember, I think I also, so I did all around the edge, and then I did this, and then, before you go any further, I want you to cut these out and have these available. These are what I'm calling labels or tags. So you literally cut them all out, put them in a pile, make sure you don't lose any, and this is going to be really, this is exactly how I did it. When you have them all cut out, and then you draw your panel, you will know success when you're all done drawing the templates when you don't have any of these tags left. And it does work. But what you want to do is, and make sure to cut out the A's and the B's. See this? There are 4 A's. And then literally take your pin and pin it right onto the panel, right on top of where you've traced it. And I'll show you my pieces in a minute. But what I wanted to show you was the trick, right? So you've got, let me back up a minute. We have all of these pieces cut out, and they're in a pile. And we have our panel, and we have our templates. And we have our pins. After you trace and pin the outside ring and that inner square, then do the 4 squares around the inner square. And those are DIA, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So use your DIA template, place it on there, trace it around, and then pin DIA 2, 3, 4, 5. Then what I want you to do is, so you're going to alternate going back and forth. Then I want you to go out to the outer edge and place in the squares that are next to the triangles all the way around. Meaning, put WVs in the corner, literally WV 38, WV 43. Did I tell you this was like a puzzle? WV 54 and WV 59. Well, let me get my glasses here. 54 and 59. Draw those in, put the tag, and so trace it and then pin the tag. Then do your outer storm at sea. Draw those in, so get your SS template, place them like the chart shows. At this point out here, you're going to be using your light crayon or your light marking pencil. In here, you're going to use the dark marking pencil. After that whole ring is done, then go back in to the inside and do your other WVs. So put in the 6, 9, 12, and 13. And again, trace around the WV with your dark pencil. Pull out the tag that says WV 9, 12, 13, 6, and pin it right on. Then go to the outside. So see what I'm doing? We're working from the inside out and the outside in, so that at the end we have spread our blocks evenly across this panel. I hope that makes sense. It will fit. All of the black you see here is actually going to be waste. But that comes to my next point, is when we do come to cutting it, and the time to cut this is coming soon. We're going to do it right now. Leave yourself give yourself a good healthy 1/4 inch seam away. You are going to either trim these up when it goes to piecing or use it in a paper piecing template and it will clean it up. So that is the layout, okay? When you're done with the layout, and it's really fun and satisfying. It takes a while, of course, to trace this all on. But then when you're done, my goodness, it's like a supernova with stars on top because all of your tags will be there. 85 of them. Okay? Now it's time to cut them out. And what you will end up with are piles of blocks. And I am using Ziploc bags. So here are the A's and the B's. And literally, it's important to literally have A 1, 2, 3, 4 and B 1 through 20. Okay? For echo, I have all my echoes in here, right? And then, let's see, I have my inner SS's, my outer SS's, my DIAs, oh, and my WVs, which I'll show you in a minute. I also, oh, excuse me, I also have leftover fabric from the panel. Put that in a bag and keep it, okay? Just in case. So, that, my friends, is the mystery panel all cut up in a way that we're going to use throughout the rest of the quilt. Let me stop here and see if anyone is out there, number one, if you have any questions, if you have any thoughts, comments, and then we will go, we'll answer questions about that, show and tell, show me where you're at, and then we'll go into the weather vane block, which has both paper piecing and hand piecing. And we have to make 13 of those. And at the end, they're going to be 5 inches square. But who's out there? I cannot believe it's Friday night already. What a day we have had. They hung the quilt show today. Bob helped me bring up the table. We have a whole table up there with Simply Colorful t-shirts and some dolls I made, and what else is up there? I have 4 mystery quilt bags left. So thank you for everyone, everyone who's playing with this in this mystery. Thank you for your patronage. Let's see. I took a few pictures. Well, you can't see that very well. But that's what's set up there. That's the booth. We have green shirts. Oh, and for anyone, any patrons who have not received their t-shirt yet, I'll be reaching out to you for the size. We got our new shipment in, and I need to get those out to you. So, who is out there? My sister's out there. Hello, KB. Look at what she's done, everyone. Okay. Oh, my. Oh, and she says, why seam? No, thank you. And this, my friends, is why we are a community of quilting sharers. Can you see that? So I know I'm jumping ahead. This is the weather vane block. OKB, can you share this with us? Because look at this. She says, no Y seams for me. Look at what she printed out. How did you do that? So you printed out 4 paper pieces, huh? Oh my, I can do that. Okay, so I'm going to do that, and I'm going to post this also. That's amazing. Because what I had done, we'll get to in a minute. Oh my goodness, KB, thank you. Ha! She just saved us a lot of time, everyone. Aww. She says, this is going to be an epic quilt. Aww. Thanks, KB. Thank you for that. That's awesome, that tip. Hi, Sarah. I'll see you up at the quilt show tomorrow if you're on, by any chance. I hope you're well. Oh, another note from my friends at work saying I'm supposed to wear fringe at our karaoke party on Monday night. That'll be just great. Can't wait for that. Hey, Carol Bell. Hi. Is it the middle of the night where you are? She says, hi, Lynn. Hope you and the FiberCasters have had a good week. We have. Isn't September so busy? When did it become so busy? Carol reports, I've been continuing to work on quilting my Irish chain quilt this week. While I have been waiting for you to come on tonight, I managed to finish it. Whoa, binding, label, and all. That's great. She says, I'm just checking for hanging threads while watching you. All right. She says, I have a question about the brown bag fabric requirements. The brown bag panel fabric is not listed on the requirement. Which fabric does it replace? Oh, great question, Carol. It doesn't replace any. It's in addition to all of the other fabric. And what it is in this third clue, and I think even in clue 2 I listed it, it's the panel of Hoffman's Supernova Onyx or Ombre color, and I give the designer who designed it, Jeannie Sumrall Arrow. But to answer your question, it's also 45 inches by 45 inches, approximately, if that helps. But no, the fabric requirements you see, you need, and this panel is in addition. So I hope that helps. If not, let me know. Oh, and there is your quilt. Wow, every week it looks more finished and finished. Oh, love it. Oh. Well, hello, Allie. Alice in Australia, she says, hi, Lynn. She says, I had a look at clue 3 last night, and wow. I thought to myself, this is not going to happen. LOL. Went to bed, and then this morning thought, I can do this. And if I have time today, I will cut out the pieces and take them on holidays with me and hand sew the blocks. I'm excited, she says. She says, I don't have the mystery fabric. I opted out of the gift when signing up, but we'll try to source it tomorrow in Hawaii before the cruise. But I can do all the hand sewing on the weather vane blocks. I've already made some templates out of template plastic. Perfect. Template plastic works just as well as laminating sheets, if not better. My goodness, why didn't I think of that? She says, so I'll see how far I can get without the mystery fabric. You can get very far. Trying to think what I could tell you to do without the mystery fabric. Let me think on that. Will you have a sewing machine, or are you just going to have hand sewing? Probably just hand sewing, right? Huh. Bummer. You really need this fabric. I guess you could use a light gray or a white. No, because you need the gradation. Well, you know what? You're going to be cruising, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So maybe even just doing the other hand sewing parts will be plenty. Anyway, Allie says, enjoy your week away next week. I'll catch up with the clues when I get back. Love, Allison. P.S. I take the paper backing off as I finish each block. Okay, that's good to know. Me too. Good. Sarah. Hi, Sarah. Sarah says, hi, Lynn and FiberCasters. I'll be joining you tonight live, and I'm happy to have some time to sew. She says, it's been a busy week. I've been finishing up knitting projects. I finished the blueberry sweater and the Norwegian mittens. Wow. And another cozy comfort cowl. Oh my goodness. She also worked her rigid heddle loom for an upcoming class and made some charms for Art Is You conference. Oh my goodness. Art Is You, that's the one we're going to in the beginning of October. And she says, now it's time to sew, and I love this mystery. Aww, you have been busy. Excellent. I'm curious if you're in your studio or if you're sewing downstairs. But either way, I'm so glad you're joining. And tomorrow I'll see you at the quilt show. I hope I see you there. Come by. Hi, Wendy. Also, another caravaner in Australia. She says, hi, Lynn. I can't watch live again. That's okay. But still haven't got our bags yet. Oh, you're kidding. But I'm sure they will get there. Yes, okay, so I'm going to go search on yours and Crystal's tomorrow. I have the tracking number. The mystery quilt looks like it's going to be fun and interesting. We're going away for a week, so I will get stuck into it after we come back. I will watch you tonight. Have fun, everyone, Wendy. Oh, Wendy, I'm sorry to hear that. They went U.S. Postal. They have gotten to Europe, and I think they've gotten to New Zealand. Let me check on yours and Crystal's. That's a bummer. Okay. Oh, I'm so glad everyone's out there. Oh, and KB writes, yes, I will share the pattern and the instructions. The only thing it requires is that you cut the WV pieces about 3/4 of an inch larger, since it will get cut and pieced. It looks like we have enough room on the panel to make that work. Perfect. Beautiful. Okay, let's keep going. Oh, this was pretty funny. So when we were, before we get into the weather vane, when we were at the quilt show, there was a bee flying around, and Jean was there with her handy-dandy lint roller, and she was able to get the bee, strike the bee. Isn't that a good picture of her? She's smiling. So we found another use for lint roller. It's an insect swatter. Okay, so let's turn that off. The battery is going anyway. And again, remember, your Ziploc bags are your friend. I love seeing what everyone is finishing up on the, putting it on the quilt along. And I know this is a doozy of a quilt. So if you're not making it, not a big deal, follow along. But for those of us who are making it, I can't wait to see everyone's colors. Okay. Let me put all of these aside. We have our layout and our templates. It feels funny, this, again, for this clue, we haven't been using the sewing machine, but we're going to change all that right now. So, let's look at the weather vane. I'm going to put these, I'm sorry you can't see this. I have to share with you that, once again, my husband came through and was a wonderful, wonderful man tonight. I came home from the quilt show at about 10 minutes to 8, and he had already set up the lights here in the studio. He had made me a Western sandwich, which had egg and ham and with cheese, so I could have a bite of that before I went on. And he also helped me carry everything into the quilt show today. So I am lucky, lucky. And as you might hear, it's quiet tonight. They don't have band. So I'm sorry that we don't have that nice ambient music behind us. But that's, and I don't even know why they don't have band tonight. Oh, who's out there? Jean is out there. Did you just see the bee? Aww, She says, I'm heading home from the show now to tune into my favorite YouTube sensation. Aw, and you, my girlfriend, are on your way to having a pop-up store. I want to see that camper because the quilt you have, the Color Wheels quilts, Jean and Kelsey have just started a new business, Color Wheel Quilts, and at the show, and I'm going to film it tomorrow and show this, they have the most amazing set of kits. It's small now, but I love what you have there. So you have good buyer instincts, that's for sure. And I'm going to buy some things. So yay, travel safe. Okay. Here's what we have. This is what we're going to make. And if you go to page 6, in red, we're going to make 13 of these, and in red is the key. See this white piece right here? That's what we have to leave on at all times until we're all done with this quilt. And when you go to pin on the tags, make sure you can read them. So from one side, pin them all so you can read them all. They're all running the same way. Okay? Anyway, that's in the middle. And here are all of my WVs, so I have 12 left. In this clue, actually, this is another thing that I didn't mention. If you have some sandpaper hanging around, get a square of it. That's going to help when we mark our squares. You see. So before I pull out my cut pieces, this is what, actually it's cleaner than that. And this is what Donna helped me discover today and clean up this morning. Here's what it's going to print out. It's called the WV paper piecing pattern. I don't know if you can see that. And what it has is it has 3 pieces, this, and this, that you want to paper piece. But then it also has these 4 little templates that we need to make, and then we're going to trace those, and that's what we're going to hand sew together. So let me show you, for example, here is I started to do a couple of these. Look at the difference, huh? Aren't they looking different? And then I did this piece. It's hard to really show you, but you do the paper piecing, then you put the orange square there. You see this? Then the orange square there. And then we literally have to, oh, this is it before I put the orange square on it. Clearly, I have a lot to do here, but you do the 3 paper piecing, and then what you do is we have to mark, first we have to create the other templates. So on this one, cut out the templates, but here's the difference. These you cut on the actual sewing line so that you can trace them and create what you're going to work on. I'll show you what I mean. Let me put this back. Okay. So see this? This is your pattern. This is what you want to print out. And I know I'm all over the board here. I'm sorry. So pull your paper pieces apart and put them in one place. and then follow your color chart and the letters. So you have H and B, C and B. Okay, then you have these. And these we have to make the templates out of. So I tell you, folders can also help on this. Folders and these bags are key. Okay. So we have these. What I do is, again, if I had the template, plastic template, like Allie described, I would just put the plastic on top, draw around, and cut it. But because I don't have that, I'm using the laminating material. And what I did on this one was to save laminating sheets. Literally, I cut myself one long piece, which is enough, because these are little templates, right? And then, actually, I cut them pretty small, not exact, because I'll wait until they're laminated to do that. So here are the 4 pieces, right? Put this aside, put this aside, and then literally what I do is I opened it halfway like this, and then literally put these pieces on. It's kind of fun. Okay. Right, so there's half of them. And then what I did was I pulled off the rest. And then went back down. Lamination is fun. I could work at Staples, I think, now. Oh, I've had a good experience with Staples. Started out rough, but they ended up making a very nice sign for me. So thank you, KB, for the high-res logo. We still haven't gotten the high-res sewing machine, but we now at least have a standing banner that says Simply Colorful. So once we get the studio upstairs all done, that's going to be behind me, I do believe. I still love that the name of the company is Simply Colorful and it's a black and white logo. I think that's ironic. So these are our templates. Literally, we're going to have 4 here, right? And then I'm going to show you how to use the sandpaper. And then I think we're on our way. I think we will be well armed to do a lot of mystery piecing. And just think, if we stick to our schedule, which I think we will, we'll have a quilt top done before Thanksgiving. Okay, so there are the 4 templates, and they're sturdy because we're going to have to do a lot of them, right? If you do it the hand piecing way. So then what I do is I pull out my sandpaper, and triangles are the most tricky, I find. So I literally have to draw the triangle on the back, because that ends up being our hand stitching line. So let me pull out one of those. Here. Okay, these squares I haven't done. So I literally, right there, a second, let me get a pencil. Don't move. Actually, I'll use a pen. So I hold this down. I need a pen that works. There we go. The sandpaper does a really nice job of holding the fabric in place. If I didn't have that sandpaper, watch this. See how the fabric is moving? There we go. How many of you out there ever have seen Mike Rowe, the Dirty Jobs guy, on TV and now on Facebook? He has a funny little thing that has been circling the internet. It's a letter from his mother. And he is just laughing so hard telling the story. Apparently, his mother wanted him to visit, but because he's so busy with his little Facebook friends, she calls them little Facebook friends a couple of times, and he cracks up every time. He wrote her a letter about losing her pocketbook at Walmart, and it just is very cute. It's worth a read. So if you scroll by it, take a look. Again, it's Mike Rowe. He used to do dirty jobs. See, and before you know it, you have all of them marked. This sandpaper is a good investment. Hopefully you have some kicking around. And don't get it too coarse. Like this is 320 grit. And once you have one piece, you don't ever need another piece, I don't think. So, you keep doing that, you end up with a pile of these pieces that we ultimately are either going to use to paper piece or to hand sew in the Y seams. And again, we have to make 13 of these. Let's see, what else? Oh, these are kind of tricky because they're darker. Oh, that's right. These are the little arrows that I have to fit in with the Y seam. So KB, I am going to do some hand sewing and see how far I get, and then I'm going to also check out your paper piecing method. That's the weather vane. We need 13 of them. I think I said that. Again, the type of piecing where you would do multiples is a good way to do it. So do all 13 of the paper pieced parts. If you're going to do it all paper piecing, just run it all through assembly line, and it really is amazing how much faster it at least seems like it's faster, because you don't get up after each block and call it quits. You really keep going. These templates are easy to lose. So, I don't know what to say, but just, now I have 2 sets. Put them in your plastic bag. Keep everything together with each of these blocks. These, I'm just going to put back in there. And if you cut everything, all the pieces, like a puzzle, do go back together just fine. And there's that. So believe it or not, that is clue 3. Oh, let's take a look at what the rest of our clues are looking like. Okay, the next clue is next Friday, the 23rd. And after next Friday, we should theoretically, technically, according to this, be halfway done. I don't think we're going to be halfway done. I think we're going to be like a third done. So we're going to have to keep motoring, and actually I have time to start hand sewing one of these. I'll show you how I line it up. So what do we say at FiberCast? It's amazing what we get done. in 60 minutes. So I literally am pulling this out. And then I need what I do when I hand piece, I mark all my pieces and I lay them out. And then it's just, this is, once I lay it out, this is good stuff for front of the TV. If you have a good light. And there, and there. You see how it's coming to life? Light and dark. Tomorrow, I'll be up at the quilt show all day, and I will take as many pictures and videos as I can, and as the light allows. See that? So now it's ready to, let me get my, I'll put all of this away, and then I have my yellow thread here all threaded. My needle's all threaded. Piece of thread isn't that long, but at least you'll see how I do it. I'm sure there are other better ways to do this. This and this need to go together. So I literally, just like we did before, put a pin in the corner. Of both lines. And then when I go up and down, I just make sure that my needle's going through the line on the top and the bottom. And I must admit, I go back and forth. If my running stitches are too big, I tend to go back and forth a little bit. Oh. Okay, so now I'm in the corner. I unpin it, and then I swing this around. I have to make sure the lines line up on 3 pieces. Now I'm on to 2 pieces. And I can't see one side very well, so this might not be. There we go. Pinning should help too. So I think this is about it for clue 3. Clue 4, again, I'll post next Thursday night. And I hope that I find Wendy and Crystal's fabric. That's not good. Somewhere between here and Australia. And thank you again for everyone's support. It's been really nice, really helpful to me. Okay. It's not perfect, but we did a Y seam. Once you flatten it out, give it a good iron, that'll be good. So with that, I want to thank everyone for joining me for another FiberCast. It's because of all of you that we can keep doing this. I really appreciate it. Hope you had some fun. Keep sewing. Keep posting onto the Facebook Simply Colorful page, or send me email and I'll share it with everyone next week. So have a good week, everyone. Bye.